What's going on, y'all? Hold on, fix this a little bit. Being that I'm only 26 years old, 26 sounds old to me, I guess, because I remember when I was 14, 15, but I know it's very, very young. I didn't grow up on In Living Color. I didn't catch In Living Color until it came to like Nick at Night when I was like in my teenage years. And as I got older, I began to realize how impactful that show was and how monumental and groundbreaking that show was in particular. Um, it was the premiere, the first sketch comedy show with a predominantly African American cast, and it put African American comics on the scene and thrusted them into mainstream and giving them their first mainstream looks. All of the cast, for the most part, all across the board. And one individual who is a Caucasian American, Jim Carrey, one of the legendary figures in comedy, got his start with In Living Color. So Keenan Ivory Wayans to have the forward thinking, to have the confidence in himself to say, I have an idea that I think is going to work. A sketch comedy show with a predominantly African American cast, and his family got his family all involved in it. Took a chance on a guy like Jim Carrey, who probably many didn't know, and the show was phenomenal. Kenan is a boss of all bosses, man, because he was competing with Saturday Night Live, a place where he first got his start, and of course he had his own creative ideas. And he wanted to bring a perspective of comedy that was different than, I guess, what was the norm. People, I think, were used to comedy. Well, I can't say that. No, I can't even say that. At that time, I think the comedy that was being represented on television, for the most part, starring black people, probably was more of a commercial, like super commercial-based comedy. Kind of like a Bill Cosby type comedy at the time. Well, no, I can't even say that because Eddie Murphy was popping at the time. But I know Saturday Night Live ruled everything. So for him to have these skits on In Living Color, they are still like, I die laughing watching this stuff to this day. Like all this, like what is it, Men on Film? 2 snaps or 3 snaps in a circle with Damon Wayans and David Allen Greer. Oh my God. Like that's like that type of stuff, that's classic. That's gold. Then you got The Homie Don't Play That with Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans was like, he was a star on there. Like you could see his star power. Tommy Davidson. You had what's her name? Takia Crystal Kima or something like that. She played the mother on That's So Raven. You had Kim Wayans. You had, who else I'm forgetting about? Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx playing the character of Wanda. You had it was so many other different like sketches on it. It was crazy. Like I remember when Kenan was playing Mike Tyson in one of the skits. I remember the skit where Damon was an inmate and he was trying to be an intellectual using words that he didn't even know the meaning of, or just using big words and rhyming them, like masturbation, concentration, like that type of stuff was funny, man. Like it was just classic material. And again, for Kenan to put his family on, to put black comics on that probably wouldn't get a shot at, probably wouldn't have got them type of shots at a big commercial place like Saturday Night Live. He put them on In Living Color and gave them the platform to pop. Jim Carrey stood out by far on In Living Color. Like, man, like he stood out and he was showing that he could be a star. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, like this show really gave so many people they start. Even J-Lo is one of the Fly Girls dancing. You know, Sean was DJing on the show. You know, like it was a family affair. And Kenan had a well-oiled machine, man. Like, my little sister is a freshman in college right now. She like In Living Color. We got the DVDs in the crib, and she was in there watching it, laughing. I'm hearing her upstairs, dying laughing, watching this stuff. So, it shows me that material still translates to today. You know, some things aren't as some material aren't is not going to be as current. So some people may not get some of the stuff because of what was going on back then. But if you still have some type of knowledge of like what was going on in the media world or entertainment news at the time, that stuff is funny, man. The stuff is funny, man. Kenan, shout out to Kenan, man. He's the boss of all bosses. And man, a great show. Like I said, responsible for putting so many different people on at a time that like they were competing with Saturday Night Live. And I think I remember Kenan expressing the fact, was it Kenan or Damon? Or Kenan may have spoke on it himself, talking about how he started at Saturday Night Live, and then I guess things weren't working out with him and the producers at the show, and he went on and got his own show. They presented after the success of I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, movies like that showed to be funny, and they got his own stuff. He got his own. They gave him the opportunity to have his own sketch comedy series or show and a variety show, and it worked wonders. It worked magic. And to see the careers that the Wayans family had, like not even just the Wayans family, Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx, Jennifer Lopez, the Wayans family in general, like David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, all these individuals. The Wayans family is they a hustling family, period. How you got all that many people in your family that's funny like that? You know, that's talented, that's able to write great comedy material, perform it, deliver it, able to do stand-up comedy, able to have movies, TV shows, and always having some type of new show or new ideas popping and fresh. It speaks a lot about their family and their family in general and their work ethic, man. Kenan put the family in play, but the family did not drop the ball. I remember we had me and my moms, man. My mom, this was back when VHS tapes was like getting dubbed and recorded over. My mom had a VHS we had Baby Kids on there, and we had Made in America. That's the movie with Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg and Nia Long and Will Smith. Then we had Mo Money on there. 3 movies on one VHS tape. Mo Money starring Damon Wayans and Marlon Wayans, man. And that movie is so funny, man. Like, it's funny. And like I said, to see their careers where they are now, it started with A Living Color. It gave them a platform for the world to see their natural talent and natural ability to make people laugh. Then they created movies like, they led to them doing all type of movies down the line. Like Low Down Dirty Shame. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, fam. Like, that's a classic, fam. Like that stuff is funny. Then you got, they went on to do the scary movies, Sean and Marlon, then the White Chicks. You got the Little Mans and all of that. So, A Living Color started it all, man. And I really just want to pay homage to that show. Because I didn't recognize, and really the reason why I'm talking about it, because I heard Donnell Rawlings was on Joe Rogan's show, and he was talking about how, Joe Rogan brought up the fact of how groundbreaking In Living Color was. And I'm like, dang, it really was groundbreaking like that. Like, this many African-American people were never, like, they were the faces of the sketch comedy show that was competing with Saturday Night Live. And they were doing well, man. And they were creating comedy that was edgy, but was funny, like the Handyman skits. Like, people would have stayed away from that type of stuff. You know, a joke about a disabled guy that was a superhero. But they didn't shy away from it, and it hit. It was a hit with the crowd. So the fact that they were edgy, but they were creative, and they weren't afraid to push the envelope, but they did it in a funny way, not a way that was just like distasteful. So that's something to be appreciated. That's when you know you got a good product on your hands. Shout out to the Wayans family. Shout out to Kenan, man. Peace.